Okay, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we should be broadcasting here. Hold on a minute. It should be working. A minute. Yeah, okay. Everything looks good. Okay, sorry about the delay, guys. I had some issues here technically, and last minute changes. JTrader will be in shortly, so we haven't missed anything from that side. And typically what we go through with this webinar is the just kind of live S&P analysis before JTrader comes in, and then he'll look at stocks, and this is live trading, so he will be trading stocks live if he sees something that sets up really nicely. So this is all a part of the education you get with Bookmap. It includes access to our educational course, the advanced webinars that go through that course content in the live market, so you can put the pieces together in the live market from that education, and then live trading from professionals like JTrader today in stocks, and then tomorrow with Scott Pulcini with futures. You know who JTrader is. I have his contact information. He does offer mentorship and education, so I put this into the chat if you want to reach out to him if you like what he does. And let's go through the disclosures, and then we'll jump in. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so that said, let's take a look here at the S&P E-mini. Nice breakout here. You can see the overnight here and the back and forth. And then you can see the heavy buying coming in. Now, this is exactly what we've been covering in the last 2 days in the webinars, looking for that distinction in the trading. And can you guys see it? All right, let's just take the heat map down here and look at the volume dots. We'll just make the dots maybe a little bit bigger so you can see the distinction. All right, so some heavy selling in here, but really back and forth in here, buying, selling. Here above the range, lots of buying. This is what we're looking for. This set the tone for the upcoming session here. Okay, there was some heavy selling here, 930 into here. Right, so this is the line in the sand right here, this 38.72 or so, somewhere around there. And you can see that we have now broken out up into 38.90. And again and again, you'll see these things and see these distinctions. We've covered it in the last couple of days. If you want to go through some of the webinars, let me show you where they are. I think you'll find it helpful. All right, so go to our YouTube page and then scroll down a little bit here. They're here. All right, so here's the finding momentum, or there's a couple here. Right, so finding strong momentum moves, that's what we're covering. And then yeah, some scalps and swing trades in here the last couple of days. So take a look at the finding momentum. Here it is. That's what we're trying to find or identify, and they set the tone and direction here. All right, now this is the cash open heavy selling, but it's all over the place. And then there's buying, then there's selling, and then again we see more buying back up again. All right, so we can zoom in and start to understand who's in control or who's taking control of these markets. Okay, now it's getting that buyers are still in control until we see something different. Okay, we see some selling there, but it failed to drop the markets. Okay, so far it's only come down to here where that heavy buying came in. All right, so anyway, that's the tone. of what we're looking at right now. Let's zoom out to the bigger picture. Now, before I do that, I want to also cover something else. We traded up here into high liquidity a couple times. Higher liquidity up here at 38.98, and then also 3,900, the figure up here. All right. Wanted to just go through something else on our YouTube channel. Note the Pro Trader webinar coming up this afternoon. First time we've had it here with TraderAid, a few different traders over there with their group. They're excellent traders, so I would suggest come and see us at 1 p.m. All right, so make sure to mark that down. Probably best to we always try to get you to subscribe to the channel, but subscribe to the channel and you can send an alert here, notify me. Boom, just click on that and you're there. Anyway, you can do that for all of the webinars that we have set up here. We have Tom B coming up next at 11:30 East Coast time, and then we have Doug Plus at 1:30. Now there's going to be a little bit of overlap here with the Pro Trader webinar with TraderAid. All right, so you guys can see we have so many different events happening now. Now this is just over on YouTube. We also have over on our Discord channel, all sorts of stuff.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much, Bruce. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Just a little hectic this morning, and but let's get started over on your side. I was just covering the upcoming webinars, and that was it. So. All right, let me jump back to Discord here. And there's your screen. Excellent. Let's pop that out. Okay.
Tell me when you're set to go.
Okay, I'm all set.
All right, so good morning, traders. Theme of the day is SINT and LASE. So these are two small caps that we're having right now. LASE SSR, SINT SSR. Okay, so both hard to borrow. SINT, we had a plan this morning. I'm not short on this, so I'm going to say straight. Right over here, SINT looking for 15. Our level, SINT high volume SSR, only a daily level for pros, no for beginners. Because I've seen often the traders get involved in shorting, especially front side, small caps with high volume SSR, okay, which is a very high risky position. The main theme is when you have high volume SSR, look to long on dips. I tried to long on dips this morning, but I never had the main pullback that I was watching, that I was looking for. So let's go into a chart here. So you could see the daily resistance at 15. This is what happened this morning. So we started having over here a dip very early into the 920. And then we started seeing over here volume 935, halted again. And then over here, pushed to this level of 15 daily and started to unwind a little bit. So what I'm looking right now, trader, is being that we have also warrants, and I like that a member here was we're sharing this. We have warrants at around 15. So let me see exactly. Yeah. Warrants at 15.10 on SINT. So exactly this point over here. I'm looking for another push into that 15 area. So high of the day. I may just stop in short. Remember, SSR, so it will be a little bit harder to get your fills. This is what we had at 15 today. So not a bad rejection. You can see over here that we went in this high liquidity area. First of all, here 14. Then we started having this fake breakout. So a sort of bull trap, unwind. And then over here, after the wash, reclaim of the previous support level. So bull trap, bear trap. We can really mark them over here. So we have our bull trap, bear trap. So these are two of the ways that the market is working right now. It's a market where often breakouts don't work. And I was explaining this in the past webinar we made with Bruce about the chart patterns that work and not work right now. Okay. So when I say chart pattern, doesn't mean you have to trade only using chart pattern. Chart patterns is one part of the equation. Then we have the analysis of the price action, the analysis of the order flow, so the read order of the flow, and then of course your plan and risk management. Okay, so we can see over here what the market does often. So we tend to have a breakdown and right away reclaim. And on the other hand, over here, we try to have a breakout. So a lot of breakout traders will step in at this point, and then big hands will use this sort of breakout level as a spot over here to enter short, or better, to dump their position if they're long. Okay, so it's where actually they will sell into. And this is why I like Bookmap, because I can see this very easily over here. You can see like the top that we had this morning, 15s, and then the second rejection here. Now we're getting a second top here. So let's see if we can spot that 15. And we can have a fake out over here. So I want to see this major breakout 15 and right away dump. Okay, so this would be the theme for now. Let's pay attention to the price action over here. What we're also forming over here is a three-wave pattern. So first, second, and third. So let's see right now for a play on SINT. I'm watching over here the level of 15, 15, 20, and the micro support level that we have over here, 1360. They stacked over here a pretty good resistance, 1450 and 15. You can see over here that they're trying to push it just above that 1440. High volume. So I'm looking over here for a possible, or as I said, that 15, or over here trying to grab dips. So this is a very high risky one because we're trying to get a fill long over here into the 1520. So just get fill 1520 long. But when you have these longs, you have to be very careful because you can get stuffed, right? So we're trying to buy pullbacks over here, 1420 long, and right away you have to get out as soon as it reverses. So let's see over here if we can get another level, 1370, fake breakdown, then taking the long position. The main point is buying dips and shorting fake outs. That's what we're looking for. At the same time, we are in a short position on LASE. So this morning we had another SSR stock, pre-market high around 220. So we shorted this push over here into the 215, right now 214 average, but we already scaled out over here on this support around 199. And over here now is not anymore an A+ setup. Why? Because we're holding over here the open level by 10 o'clock. So we have over here LASE as a possible. First setup could be a 220 fake out short. The second setup that we're looking instead would be a possible breakout, the pre-market high, and then long on dips. But let's see Tesla as well this morning. You can see sideways. We had a good setup from the 139 and 50 for this fail over here to the 136. Now sideways action, not really looking over here to trade it. So be watching if we can get to this previous low and maybe trying to buy a dip. Amazon, some setups over here to shorting this basically green area over here at the gate, 86, 86.05. We had a couple of setups over here, but for now, sideways action. So big caps, sideways action today after the big unwind yesterday on Tesla. Yesterday, Tesla was particularly good. So we got a morning where the first hour was in range, basically like today. And then we started to look for that downtrend and we started taking short over here into the 146 for all the way down. So this is the kind of scenario that I want. So I'm waiting for that scenario over here on both Amazon and Tesla. Right now, we have to wait for this main trend break. And Tesla, waiting as well for these lows over here. I want to see the price below the previous day low. I'm looking for that area. So two possible plays over here on SINT. One would be fake breakdown of this 1350 and then reclaim for a long, or simply looking over here for the high of day major fake breakout and then short. 10:30 right now. The volume is decreasing. After 10:30, if we're holding above the open level, we reduce by 50% based on stats. The factor over here to unwind. So after this time, I'm a little bit more skeptic over here to trade short. So this is the level that I'm watching over here on Bookmap. 1350. SINT Trader is nano float. So we're talking about a very small float over here. The stock has less than 1 million float, so float rotated multiple times. Good volume for a $14 stock today. History of trading high volume and history also of extension plays. This 15, 15, 10 is a daily level. So, or as I said, fake out that 15, 15, 10 for a short. Remember, this is SAR, so mostly for advanced traders. Meanwhile, we see LASE simply married over here to that JLASE. This is the price action this morning on SINT. So start over here to rip, halted 960, open, halted over here 1120s, open over here. And I was looking at this point around 1250, sorry, 13 for a first short, just for a scalp, because I was looking for that lower high over here. We didn't have that confirmation, but you can see that we soaked into this main support area and then started to push. And then they did this breakdown, the level 1260, 1270, started to dip over here. You can see another hold of 1220, and then pushed into this liquidity area, which actually they actually bought this area. You can see they started like to be lateral. They dipped again to this point, and then they push on a breakout this level 1420. Here became a trappy one, dip again over here, and then push to the 15. So two main bull traps. All right, that is now the push that we were waiting for. So we're looking for that 15, 15, 10. This area here. Simply waiting over here for now. Watching Amazon and Meta high of day. Now they created liquidity 1420, 1450, 1470. Simply sideways, waiting for my level or nothing. So what I'm looking traders on LASE over here. We're gonna put this chart. So you can see sideways action. This is the high of the day. What we're having right now is a major wedge. This all morning is holding the VWAP, is holding the J lines. So right now we have two possible plays. One will be a bear trap and then push the upside. So ideally, a fail over here, the support, and looking over here for type manipulation that I call type 2 bear trap 2 from our playbook. Otherwise, I'm looking for this 220 major fake out and short to the downside. Okay, so two plays over here for me this morning. One and the second one, this. Let's see if we can have that 220 area over here. Near the level of 220. near that level over here, resist 220. Meanwhile, over here, breakdown of the support on 1360 with pretty big selling pressure. You can see these dots over here on Bookmap. That blue line that you see, traders, that's the pre-market high. So you can see they're breaking the pre-market high. 200K per minute, 400K per minute. So no trade for me yet. I want to see only if we can fail that level to short, otherwise I'm simply gonna leave it. $224, break of the previous high. There's so much absorption over here in the bid. So over here, what we're looking for is right now a hold of this pre-market high and then looking for longs, exactly. So pre-market high and now looking only for longs, so not looking anymore for shorts. So you can see the pattern. We didn't have the fake breakdown and push, but we simply had the pattern over here, in this case breakout. Main point, J lines over here simply holding, VWAP holding, push the upside. Now I'm not looking anymore to trade short for the day on LASE. After 10:30, SSR high volume, simply gonna wait for it. So this is one of the setup that happens in small caps. So if you run the stats, and you will see, as we said before, 10:30, we have the stats reduced by 50%. This is going to be a fader. So basically waiting, trade the first 30 minutes, no plays for now. Small trade on SINT, that's it, and a trade at the open on LASE. Here. So daily chart, this is what I'm watching when we have these extension plays. So level of supply, these days over here, we trade a high volume, around 70 million. And here with an extension between 270 and 330. Volume also over here, around 10 million, and high volume up here. So we can look at the high volume nodes that we have. So this area over here and this area over here. Well, actually this week we didn't trade, this month we traded high volume. So I'm really referring to these days over here. 260, we have a solid resistance. We can put also this 330. Yeah. And now I will be watching for that 260 or for dips to long. Okay. Two main volume resistances that we have are 240, 250, looking at Bookmap. They're trying to put over here more resistance, 235. I'm not anymore looking to for a trade right now. We have a daily at 260, so ideally I'm waiting for that area. So a lot of patience over here for me.
Joseph, on breakout strategies, I mean, I know you look for a pullback, uh, but this is a bit like a kind of a cup and handle and kind of a, kind of a wedge or cup and handle ish with a wedge there. And if you start to see big volume come back in near the highs, uh, I'm wondering if you ever look for a breakout trade, if you have some sort of setup looking for that.
I prefer to buy dips or after the breakout, I'm looking for a pullback. So in this case, I can share, for example, this trade we took yesterday that I posted also in the Bookmap room. And you can see, Bruce, that I didn't trade the first part over here, the move, right?
Right.
So I wait over here, I main pullback, and I waited this pullback to exactly over here. This was the VWAP. So when I saw this pullback after this breakout, then I started really thinking for a long. This over here was long selling in partials into the stop, and then buying back again over here. So another pullback selling, buying again a pullback selling, and then buying over here, buying more over here, selling to the push, and eventually selling everything. So this I share everything while we were trading. So reference. But the point, this is really the style that I prefer. So buying breakouts, often you get like stuffed, you get like rejected. Like we said before, this market is doing a lot of bull traps. So more than buying this bull trap, this possible bull trap, I'm looking to buy dips where I have a very minimum risk. I try to read pretty good order flow. So I'm waiting for these plays that I will probably get 2 or 3 times a week. But when I take these plays over here, they pay big. They pay big time. So we had ICCM, the same setup. You could have taken on a PHVS, COSM. We had SMMT as well on day 1 or day 2. So breakout, pull back, looking at the high liquidity. Over here we have bars on the stock of at least 1 million volume. So huge amount of volume over here for a $4 stock. And that tells me, right, we can push and have a big long. And this was using Bookmap. So yesterday, everybody was asking, hey, why you look for that long? Why you look for that long over there? And I even recorded this entire session over here when I was trading this live. So we got this long for this reason. This is what wasn't the main reason. So I know that the setup, I know that pullback, seeing that many times. And then once I see this level over here of liquidity, you can see that we start supporting this area first below, and then this area over here is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and then big push to the upside. Meanwhile, it means we're fake out on LASE. So push like this, you simply want to trail using a 9 EMA, a 13 EMA, or a 15 EMA, whatever you prefer, but this is simply like a crazy run. And we got the entire move over here, all the way to the upside. I love these longs over here. So rather than, trying to buy over here breakout, boom, stuff, I'm buying the dip, very low risk.
Can you maybe discuss? I mean, you've discussed it many times in the past, but just anyone new in here about your patience, and like you said, you wait for these kinds of setups, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, especially on the big caps. I know you've discussed this many times, and uh, but I mean, this is a really hard part about trading. People come to work or at the desk, they're ready to trade, and let's go, and I'm ready to hit the button. And what do you find helpful to or try to calm traders down to get them to develop patience and wait for these quality setups, and first off know that they are quality, and so that's a big distinction right there. We have to know that it's high quality and that it works, and then
Exactly.
you have to wait for it. So yeah, what helps you
Well,
develop those
Bruce,
kinds of patience of steel?
yeah, it's a big process. Uh, how to become a trader, it involves not only strategy, so not only something that you previously have back tested and know that it works, but also a lot of work on yourself. So this means handling your emotions, having self-control, having discipline, and you can improve this. I mean, there are many even sport disciplines that they raise your level of discipline through time. You learn how to manage the stress, manage the fear, having patience, stay calm when you're in difficulty. For example, I make an example. I did for some time pancrazio MMA, and one of the lesson was that somebody was like choking you, and in that moment you're like getting stressed, you're getting fear, you're not staying calm because you're going maybe to panic, you're like suffocating and you're like almost passing out. And in that moment, it's very hard, but that's the reason why it takes training. You have to start like thinking about what you can do, and you still have a little bit of oxygen. So you have still try to breathe as calm as you can, because if you go in panic that moment, then it's impossible to think correctly. So the same thing into trading. You have to know exactly what you have to do before taking a move, before making a move. So when I take a setup, I know when I have to take it, what I have to look for, and what I'm going to expect. Like before, I was making a plan on LASE over here. So we were looking for this wedge, and I was looking for or fake out and fail, or fake breakdown and push. In this case, the plan that I made didn't occur. That's fine. I'm not going to take the trade. It's not the end of the world. We'll take the next one and the next one, and the next one. So I'm only trading what fits my playbook 100%. What is written in my, let's say, book, what it is written in my rules. And when I see that, I go all in. So for me, it's useless to try something that I'm not comfortable with, something that I didn't previously back tested, something that I don't understand or didn't, research it. I'm only going to trade that plan, A plus setup, when I see the correct price action, order flow, structure, pattern.
I mean, I know you know how to do all that. But I
It takes
just,
time, I know.
well, I mean, I just want to discuss it a little bit. I know we're here for the live trading, um, and it just seems like there wasn't too much happening, so I thought maybe I'd kind of jump in. Uh, and you know how to do that, and you can say it, you can describe it, but doing it is something else. And this is, I think there's a big distinction here. Like maybe I would assume that when you're educating others, and I put your links into the chat there for people in YouTube and in Discord. But when you're educating others, and you tell them, no, you need to wait and you need to be disciplined, and this is what the setup looks like. That's great, but they haven't lost money on it. They haven't been kicked, in the face a bunch of times. Your process was like, and how you absorb this and learn this was through, wow, that didn't work and I just lost money. And that happened many times. And then, okay, now this is the way I'm going to tackle it this time. And I'm going to also study this and see if does it work over time in general, what to do when it doesn't work. That's a very different process than telling somebody, and then no, you have to have patience, you have to wait for this, and this is what it looks like.
Well, basically, I think you have to create a plan, and the plan has to grow step by step with you. For example, whenever I trade and whenever I teach a member on how to trade, first of all, he has to find his asset to trade. Let's say that in this case, we're trading today's stocks. The first thing is he has to find a strategy. And in order to do this, you have to analyze the market, analyze the data, back test, and then journal. Because, for example, Bruce over here will take 3 or 4 setups, maybe I will take 5, 6 setups, and then each person is different. So maybe you can scalp more, I can day trade more. So based on your personality, you will find the good strategy for you. Then you have to practice it. So it's not only finding a strategy. And when I say strategy, it's not only a chart pattern or an indicator. It's a complete 360 degrees strategy, which fits with analyzing the market, understanding the price action, reading the order flow, having a correct risk management. So all together. And then you have to practice the strategy. This means retrading it, annotating, for example, every single day what happened, studying those structures, studying those patterns, studying the tape, studying the order flow, and becoming good at it. And then when you do this, when you practice strategy, then you start trading live with a very small capital. And that's your second step. The third one, if you want to last in this job, is becoming consistent. And how you become consistent? Well, first of all, you need, as I said, to find a strategy and practice it. And then to have a routine every single day. So every single day, you're going to work for becoming profitable, to make a green day. And you can only then look to be consistent if you have confidence. Because I cannot trade, for example, size if I'm not confident in something. All right. I need to trade size. I need to be confident with what I'm trading. And how you get that confident? Well, with experience, seeing that thing 1,000 times. Then you have to study how to improve the strategy. So you're going to back test again, go back to the number one. You're going to analyze the data, back test and journal. So this, when you're trying to become consistent. And then how to improve your personal trading, because you're going to think about how can I improve now? Timing, emotions, risk management. You have to have everything under control, perform in all of these three fields. After consistency, so assuming that you're all previously have done all this, then you're going to look for adding size, which is your goal essentially, to grow your account, to make more money, to become a better trader. And there are different ways. This is a very conservative way. Add 20, 30% of size whenever you met a certain goal that really is risk-based, okay? So if you're like, I would say, adverse to risk, if you are like very conservative, you're very aggressive, it really depends. This is like personal. Management of capital, so how much you're going to invest, how much you're going to risk, how much, I would say, how many resources you have, and then all of this gains experience. So a trader is formed when he went through all these stages over here. And when you gain experience, doesn't mean that, okay, I'm done, now I'm set, I don't need to trade anything anymore, to learn anything anymore. Well, it's still an evolution of a trader. So this is a continue understanding, continue like going over each one to get better every single time.
So basically, in essence, with your mentoring or your education here, you are telling them about it, but then you're creating a blueprint for them to go through it and gain the experience. So
Exactly.
they have to do this, and then this is how they're going to learn.
Exactly. Because you have the guide, and I will tell you exactly what to do, where you have to work on, what are your errors, how you can improve, but then you have to put the work in. So you have to be humble, you have to be committed to something in order to use your time to improve, because a lot of traders, they simply want everything so simple. Market is not simple. Trading is one of the hardest jobs in the world. I've been mentoring some of, I would say, most diligent people in the world. One is a pretty famous surgeon in the States, and one is a pilot. And they told me, Jay, we have to be so disciplined in our job, so patient. But when it gets to trading, I simply cannot be. So this, imagine one is a surgeon, right? And I think is an oncologist. But imagine the stress that he has to manage, and he tells me that trading is even more difficult. So this is the point that you need a lot of work, and you don't have to give up when you have the first losses, the first I would say fails, but instead you have to keep going, keep trying, keep working until you find that way, okay, that your mentor teaches you. And this year we have a lot of success with members we trained from small caps to big caps or even futures. So it has been a pretty good year in a very tough market, because this market was simply bearish in the big caps, option as well, futures as well. So it's not easy to find, the correct way of trading. But with what we're teaching, I think we're doing some very good job over here, and often we're sharing the results even, on on here or YouTube or Twitter whatsoever. The point, trader, is that you need time to become good, you need patience, and then I would say a mentor really helps you so much because it makes you understand things like much faster. You have somebody that guides you step by step, and Bruce knows the job that we've been doing.
Yeah, I mean it's really good, uh, Joseph, and really good discussion. Thank you. Um, it is funny how well, there was a trading book I don't know, I read years ago. Maybe someone can remember it. But there was a this one professional trader, and he was trying to teach someone else how to trade at an institution. And this guy came in, and he was in the military, and he defused bombs. That was his job. To go out and booby traps or whatever it is, that bombs that did not detonate, and to defuse them. And he started to trade, and he lost control, and it spiraled out of control. He lost a lot of money, and he came back to him like whimpering to the professional trader, and this, I can't do this. And
I
it's
got it.
out
I
of
got it.
all
It's
the
the same thing
professions
that
in
was
the
in,
world, like
yeah,
the amount of risk, you would think that this guy could understand risk management and fear. It's just a totally foreign and different thing, than these other professions. Yeah, if this guy can't handle it, no one can. Basically, you have to learn it in a different way.
it's true, Bruce. It's totally true. And that's the reason why it takes patience. And not everybody has that kind of patience, even if you train them. But who has them, can have like results that are amazing because this job can simply turn your life. And I've been seeing traders that simply change in a couple of years their life. You know, I just interviewed a trader that is a friend of mine. I'm sorry. He's part of the room, was part of the room for a long time, and he made the seven figures after so many attempts, after years of trying, but he eventually did that. It's not the first one that I've mentored that he got to that level. So we're gonna put out the interview this week. Will be pretty cool. So we go over, really the stress that you went through. What was the strategy? And the strategy is different for every trader. Not every trader will trade the same strategy. Not every trader will trade in the same way. And that's, as I said before, is totally personal. So good points about today, and I like to discuss these things with you.
Yeah, I mean it's great because you have the depth and experience, and there's so much more beyond it, and it comes across so simply when you're saying like, I'm not going to take it. It looks good, but I'm not going to take it. I'm going to wait for this. This is not my setup, and you don't really, you can just let it go by. The fear of missing out on profit or a move, is very difficult, I think, for a lot of traders.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, you seem to have that one down really, really well.
Exactly.
Overcome that. Yeah, yeah, no, great stuff, Joseph. I
So
got a
let's tell
question
me.
here from Taj says, thanks for showing Tesla. Does this mean that at 140 there will be a lot of sellers? Um, Maybe
Yeah,
take a look at
I believe that.
Tesla again.
I believe that. Tesla, we are in a downtrend since many weeks over here, and they're simply like killing this company. The first main level over here the last 10 days was this 180. Now we are around 136, and we have still potential to unwind over here to the 130. So really, there's a strong Tesla over here. The main POC that we had last week was over here at 158. Starting of this week, we started to reject at 158, and now we brought that POC, so the point of control, the high volume node over here, the volume profile at 150. I believe that we'll have it by the end of the day lower, possibly over here. You can see that we're raising this high volume node, so possibly over here we're gonna have it at 140, 141. The point is tomorrow, if we're gonna reject the 141, this will unwind to 135. So careful over here, trying to buy dips on Tesla. Personally, I'm just trend following. Every single day, I'm just trend following. And the plan for me today was only to look for shorts. And simply just waiting over here right now. And we have another wedge. So potentially we could see a 140. So a test over here, this area, and a rejection and more unwind.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. I mean,
For the
look
year.
look at the order flow there in Bookmap, and they're just it's hard to see some sort of edge there.
Yeah, exactly. This is our multi-day Tesla. Every single day pops and then dies, pops and dies, pop and dies. Right now, tight wedge.
And he's still the richest man in the world.
I believe that he's not anymore, Bruce, huh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So back
I
to
don't know if I'm correct, but somebody told me in previous days that he's not the richest man in the world anymore.
hmm.
I think he burned like half of his wealth. But, I may be wrong, right? I may be wrong. Anyways, we'll send a panettone for Christmas. So Tesla over here, really untradeable today, not like yesterday. We need to see a breakdown of this wedge, and then I'm starting to look for a short. So I'm looking for this kind of pattern over here. Right now, it's simply untradeable. So let's go to check also SINT. So you can see trader SINT over here. So we had this three-way pattern. I'm not short. I didn't take this trade over here. I missed though the good setup over here for a long exactly to this dip area, and that's essentially from my strategy over there to get the long. So this is the long play on SINT. So right now we are SSR stock, a stock that flow rotated multiple times. Float was around 500K. So what we're looking over here is another wedge. So I'm doing the same plan as before. Or in this case, we have a tight consolidation and push, or a push to the 14, major fake out, and then unwind. Okay, so two setups over here. I wouldn't long right now, I want to short right now. Just waiting for this trend break over here, 14. If we can have a push to there and rejection, then I'll be looking for a short. Liquidity over here is at 1335, more at 1380, and more over here at 14. Then we have LASE all morning. Simply married over here to the day lines. major fake out over here. I didn't take this, but I remember over here, he took it pretty good. So beautiful trade over here by Matt. So shorting the pop, covering dips, shorting pop dips, shorting the pop over here in the 240 and over here in the J Slam 235. Nice over here price section. You know, they ripped it over here. They were looking for a breakout right away. Big seller jumped in. Simply sold a ton of shares. Look at this volume over here. A volume at 1.8, 1.7 over here for the minute. So good job over here. On Bookmap, we're seeing simply that. That is the level of fake out. You can see traders. And this we've seen like over and over and over, like in so many previous videos. We even trade stocks like this often. Again, a little bit hard today to get a feel, because if you get a feel over here, really you're super good, or you have upticks because this is an SSR. But you can see over here it topped into this liquidity, exactly at this point. And then it came down and now holding the VWAP. So this is your fake out over here. Okay, this is the major fake that we had today on LASE, LASE. So what I'm expecting now, no trade for me. Again, I'm waiting for that daily resistance 260 and nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just told me, Bruce, that the richest man in the world is Bernard Arnault, CEO and chair of Louis Vuitton, NSA, richest man in the world.
Yeah. That's what Jake here had written in YouTube there. So luxury brands.
Yeah, you know a lot of fashion. We know it.
Yeah, I do.
I remember.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Milan for a bit, and I saw some of that stuff, but um, that was about it. It was always funny to see these really, tall, skinny like models, like walking around with a map in their hand, just with a kind of bewildered look on their faces. I imagine now it's, obviously with an iPhone or something, but
Sorry, Bruce. We just had a trade over here, 119. Sorry, on Meta. Let me bring up Meta. 119 and 60. I will share the chart as well in the Bookmap Discord room. So Meta over here for a major rejection. The reason why we have yes is just like unwinding. You can see over here that I had Meta tight level at 119 and 80. We have over here our trend line. And now if we break this level over here, we're going to go 119. So that is the point over here. Another bull trap. So if you can reject over here again, the 119 and 60, I will add more size. We're staying below this level over here. If yes unwinds over here, high chance Meta will unwind as Amazon is doing. So in this case, we have the confluence of a signal, which we already analyzed this in pre-market. I put already over here the daily resistance. So you can see this fib 61.8%, 119. We have this major trend And now we see a trend line break. Want to see a rejection of the trend line, and then want to see a pullback to this 119. So this is a fail setup scenario, right? So we're looking for a fail in this case. And of course, I'm looking at the same time Qs, SPY, ES that are actually unwinding over here. On our Bookmap, we can see our line here. So we need to see this rejection, or 1965 will be stop break even. Main point over here is to follow SPY, Qs, ES as a guide. So that's 62. We can use it as a risk. So adding over here to the position on the ask at 55, 56. So risking that 1964, 55.
So the initial position was about a quarter position.
Yes, quarter position. And then over here, we have this tight risk. So you can see the trend line break and rejection of the trend line break. So this is what I'm watching. And you can add over here the remaining side. But being also the time of day 11:30, you can even trade only a 1/3 or 1/2 size, which is more than enough. We need to see the unwind over here of the Qs. For now, Qs are holding. We need to see a breakdown. Same as ES, we want to see ES at 3,900. So you can see somebody over here cancel from this resistance 1962. We have some support 1930, not that big. ES seems like breaking down. So right now, ES is giving a little bit of a break. And now we move the stop break even. As I said, I'm sharing the chart in the Bookmap Discord room so we can go and review it. And this is my only trade on mid over here. So we're looking for a fail to the 118 and 90, 119, let's see. But you can spot traders the reason why we had the confirmation, right? So we had that Bookmap, we had that heat map, and we're looking for that unwind right now. Same, Amazon is unwinding. Tesla is a little bit Tesla unwinding as well. Breakdown of Tesla, that support. So I think we're going to have our target of here 119. Still no reason to take profit. And now stopping the money 119 and 35. Meanwhile, another stuff on the SINT. $119 and 10s. We don't want to take too much profit too soon because if this unwinds till 115 today, we don't know, right? First level where we can take some profit, 119 and 10s. Sharing the chart in the trading room and in the Discord room. And now we can see why this is some bouncing over here. So we have the Q SPY, yes, bouncing some. So Meta is just like following along that. Okay, another rejection over here on the SPY and ES. So Meta should find new lows over here. So you can see the 916. You should probably see the 119.00. We can raise over here half of the trail now, 119 and 30. In order to lock in profits in case of reversal to the upside. Looks like curling down over here. We need to see the break of this 13 and 12. $13 over here hit, and then trying over here to build over here some longs, a support. If SPY now cracks, the support will go simply away. But we have to know where we have to trail and lock in order, if this goes back to break even, we still have a win. So 1935 to trail half of the position over here. You can simply right now just look at the order flow, support canceled. So somebody over here was looking for the dip buy. So reason for me to look now for that 119.00. ES and SPY and Qs making a bear flag. I'm gonna use this 35 over here as trailing traders. Until we are below, we're gonna hold full size. And SPY sideways in this moment. Okay, possible trail over here, 35. Yep. So yes, bouncing, SPY bouncing. That's the reason why over here we see this buying over here. Not a really big buying pressure, but just like this small buying over here on this 119 and 40 on Meta over here. Same thing happens now on Tesla, and same thing happened right now on Amazon. They're moving all along together. All right, Bruce. Any questions? Any more questions? Otherwise, we think we got some stuff over here, some points about management discipline.
Oh, sorry, Joseph. I was just talking. I was muted there. Yeah, no questions here. And except, are you all out of that position or half?
Yes, all out right
All out.
now. Sorry,
Okay,
all out right now because we're trailing in the money. So once we see the scale over here above 35, you can trail, and then at 50, use that $half number as trailing the rest in the money.
got you. Okay. No, good discussion, Joseph. Great stuff. And got a position here, and just how you managed it, what you're looking for, and the correlations. Great stuff. We can wrap it up though. No more questions that I see.
Okay, so Merry Christmas, everybody. So enjoy your holidays. God bless you and your families. See you the next week. Take care, Bruce, and all Bookmap fans. And thank you very much for supporting us. See you next week. Goodbye.